Rey Mysterio has been officially released from the WWE as of last Thursday, I believe it was. His contract expired. It's been going on for months now. It's been going back since last summer, saying that he wanted to get out of his contract. They wanted him to make up the time, and they can never really come to an agreement for him to get his release, but he finally got his release, and he looks to be Lucha Underground bound by later this year. He's going to be doing a lot of indie dates, especially one in New York, which we might be going to, which would be awesome if we could meet him. But nevertheless, RJ, I'll start with you because you were a big Mysterio fan, asking hashtag where's Rey for the last couple of months now. What are your thoughts on Rey Mysterio leaving the WWE?
It's devastating. Big Rey Mysterio fan, probably my favorite wrestler of all time. When I started watching back in 2002, I fell in love with Rey Mysterio as a kid. I thought he was like a superhero, literally could defy gravity and do all these different moves, and it just sucks that he's leaving. I know he's getting up there in age, and I know he wanted to leave, but he never really had like a good farewell match. Like you said, his last match was against Bad News Barrett, and like a squash match.
The night after WrestleMania.
Exactly, the night after WrestleMania got squashed, so kind of sucks to see him go, but he had a great career, no doubtably a Hall of Famer, and I just wish I had so many Rey Mysterio shirts as a kid, but obviously I grew up, so don't have any anymore, but I really need to get Rey Mysterio shirt. I looked online, like, Shop already doesn't even have them up there anymore. So
they don't?
Yeah, not even on the WWE Shop anymore.
And he was a big seller, too.
Exactly, so might have to go like on eBay or something to try to get a shirt, because I love my boy Rey, so sad to see him go, but good luck for like all his future endeavors with like indie, and if he's on Lucha Underground, I'll probably start sticking to that and watching that more often, and hopefully he can continue on and like no injuries, because he's getting up there in age and he's had his injury history. But besides that, just want to thank him for all he's done for WWE and just good childhood hero.
Now that he's gone from WWE, much like Punk, I feel like he might be able to open up one of those shirts on, or one of those stores on the Pro Wrestling T-shirt store, or whatever it's called, Pro Wrestling Tees. Jericho has one, Punk has one. I feel like Mysterio might be able to do one of those as well, and they can have a lot of great merch, because he was one of the best sellers in the guy with, we were talking about this before, since 2002 this guy's been with the company, and what boggled my mind the most was that he didn't really get one more run, which is fine, I mean, I understand that, but give him one more match at the very least. Like you said, future Hall of Famer, but they didn't even acknowledge the departure, not even on TV, which is okay, I don't expect them to, but on the website, not even like an article wishing him the best in his future endeavors. They just put out a statement, I don't know if it was on their Twitter or on their corporate website, they just said, we have come to the terms of the release of Rey Mysterio, and that's it. Like, no acknowledgement on the website, and most people probably, don't even remember the guy's been on TV in like a year, but, something like that would have been nice. Like you said, the guy's been with the company for the last over a year and a half.
I don't care if it was like on Raw against Adam Rose and he beat Adam Rose. Like, just a good farewell match for him to win. Like,
just come out and just cut a promo saying, I'm retiring, I'm done, or something like that. They did it for freaking Santino, of all people. You can't do the same thing for Rey Mysterio. It's not like Punk where he walked out. The guy, heck, his contract was coming up.
It's not like he had like that like dysfunction with the management stuff. He had a bunch of injuries, and then they want him to come back and like do up his time. Like, it's not his fault he kept getting injured, but
he just said no.
It is what it is. Yeah,
I mean,
what I hate the most.
No, go right ahead.
I hate the most what they did is, what's it called? They like, the last thing I remember of like Rey Mysterio, like big wise, is he beat the Miz to win the title, then he loses to Cena, and then they completely forget about Mysterio and that whole title picture storyline. Like, they just like up your back down. Like, I think they had like a.
It was he held that title for like 2 seconds. Yeah, that was the thing too, because he had a really good match with Miz, and that match with John Cena. I mentioned this in the video the other day, but the match with John Cena on that episode of Raw was really, really good. And they gave him that rematch, like you said, like a next week, I think it was, or a couple weeks later, and like right after SummerSlam, I think it was. And they had Mysterio lose that match. He got injured, and then he came back like a year later, but they never did anything with him. He was like tagging with Sin Cara, and that never led anywhere. That's what I think disappoints me the most.
I thought that was gonna be like a tag run, maybe.
Yeah, and then lead to a feud or something between the two. That match never happened, which was disappointing, because I think for all the botches that the guy did, the original Sin Cara Mystico, whatever you want to call him as, I think that match could have been great. And now they could do that match in Mexico, but it's not the same.
It's not the same. It's not WWE.
It's not on the grand stage of WrestleMania.
I think like you said, like they just never get like they've given guys that like have screwed up, like Jeff Hardy got like he's had his moments. Like they give him like a nice future endeavors, like stuff like that. Like Rey Mysterio, loyal wrestler for 12 years, one of their best merch sellers, one of the best Latino star they've ever had, pretty much besides Eddie Guerrero. You could consider them one too, close at least, and then. He sold a lot of merch, like, had his moments, like, brought, like, kind of like that little man mentality, like, Daniel Bryan, like, made those guys kind of, like...
Kind of paved the way for those guys.
Exactly, paved the way for them, like...
The biggest debate is, that people talk about is where would, like, if Eddie never actually passed, like, what would have happened with Ray? Like, that's always what I wonder. Like,
I don't think he would have been as high as he was if Eddie didn't die.
Probably wouldn't have won the world title, but he was still feuding with Eddie the year before, though, in a pretty prominent program.
Exactly. I think like that obviously shot him to the main event, but like I think he was obviously had the talent to be a main eventer, but like that actually gave him there. But I think they kind of just gave him a raw deal. Like he was a loyal guy. He wasn't like getting arrested or talking bad about the company and stuff like that. Like he wrestled. I just think that's wrong for them, but it is what it is, and hopefully they go on their separate ways.